Alright folks, I want to do a video to show you the setup that I use. I get a lot of questions on what kind of rig I use to catch catfish, and I've mentioned it several times on a video, but I'm going to do this like a short, that way you can watch it and not have to watch the whole video to see what I'm doing. I use what they call a Santee rig. So basically I've got a leader that's about 2.5 foot long. I have a 10/0 circle hook. I have a inline float or a spook, whatever you want to call it, to hold the bait up off the water. I got a regular two-way swivel at the top, and I've got a sinker slide that I like to use. My line on the rod itself is either 25 or 30 pound test line. My leader line is 50 pound test line. But and this works, I mean, it works well for me. But I think one of probably the best things that I learned a few years ago is how to snell a hook. And I think that has caused me to catch more fish, hook more fish anyway. I don't miss fish very often. I mean, sometimes I do. I have showed some on videos to where they may just grab the bait and not have the hook in their mouth, but I don't miss a lot. But I want to show you how to do that. So you take a hook, and I'm going to show you the difference in the way that they look. The way that I was taught whenever I was growing up to tie a hook was to run it through, hold that end, spin it several times, and then go back through the eye at the front, pull it tight. And I still hook hooks like that, or tie hooks like that in certain situations. And you can see how that hook is straight down. Now I want to show you snelling a hook. Let me cut this off. And that way you can see the difference. So when you snell a hook, if you take the line, you go through, and it doesn't matter on this part which way, if you in or out. And then you hold that down on the shaft, and then you wrap the rest around it about 6 or 7 times. Then you take the other end of that line, and you go from, in the eye, you go back towards the point, and you pull it tight. And that slides up like that, and you see how that hook is like a trigger. See how the line here is bent? That hook's like a trigger. So say a catfish bites that, and that slides through, what that wants to do is hook right in the corner of his mouth. That's why you've seen on my videos, when I talk about the hook set being in the corner of the mouth, that's one of the reasons. And also, when you do this, and when you fish like this, you don't do the old Texas yank. You don't grab the rod and just jerk it. And that's a hard habit to get out of. That's the way I always done it when I was growing up, when I was younger. But you'll see me that I'll grab the rod and I'll just start reeling it real fast. And what that's doing is that's pulling that line and that hook in that fish's mouth and hooking in the side. Here's the inline float that I use. I made these river weights, and I've got 2-ounce ones, 3-ounce ones, and 4-ounce ones, and I typically use the 4-ounce when I'm in the river. And they've got that hook on there so that on this sinker slide, you can undo it like that and hook the weight, hook it back. Or if I wanted to drag baits, I've made some dragging weights. They have a swivel in the top, hook it on there. I've been thinking about doing a different way, and I've seen a lot of people that'll have a rig and they'll use a 3-way swivel. A 3-way swivel right here, and instead of the sinker slide, they'll have another leader off with the weight on it. And what I did is I made me a length of a line. I put a swivel on this end that's got a hook on it, and I got a regular 2-way swivel on this end. I can hook it on here on the sinker slide, take this end, hook my river weight or my dragon weight, either one, and what that does is once that's on the ground, the inline float is going to float up, so you'll be further off the bottom. If you want to, if the fish are not right on the bottom, they're suspended a little bit, this will get you a little bit higher off the bottom. And that's pretty much it. I think the snelling the hook though is a major tip to where it just hooks more fish. You don't have the ones that come loose very often with that. It's typically right in the corner of the mouth, and that's where you want it. So I hope this helps. I wanted to do this by itself so that if you wanted to go back over and look at it again, you can without having to filter through a whole video. But thank you for watching, and we'll be back on the river probably in the next few days.